Hello, it's Sydney here from the Forbidden Worlds YouTube channel, and I'm here to read you a short, scary story of the supernatural. These spooky shorts are just the ticket for a succinct, kid-friendly scare. Today's story? Monsieur Werewolf. "Ah, come in," the old man said, peering out from under enormous eyebrows at the visitor at his door. "No one ever seems to come up to this lonely mountain to visit me anymore, and strangers pass by only too infrequently. The last one passed by here more than 3 weeks ago, and ever since then I've been rather hungry for conversation and news of the village below." The visitor took his hat off and followed the old man into the ancient-looking house. "I'm not really a stranger, just passing idly by," he said. "I came here expressly to see you, sir. You see, I'm a student at Heidelberg University, studying for my doctorate in occultology. In the course of writing my dissertation on lycanthropy, I came across your name as the author of some extraordinarily curious books on werewolves, so I decided to look you up and ask you what all the information and source material. But I must confess, I had a devilishly hard time finding out where you live. As soon as I mentioned the name of Monsieur Jacques Turenne, all the villagers down below fled from me as if I'd asked for Satan himself. It was only when I cornered one little lad and promised to buy him all the sweets he could eat that I learned you lived atop this mountain." The old man smiled, revealing a perfect set of white gleaming teeth that seemed incongruous in a face as old and sagging as his. "We explorers of the occult must expect such treatment from the masses, mustn't we?" he said. "But come into my study. I'll show you what the superstitious fools are so afraid of." Inside the study, Monsieur Turenne took out a strangely shaped bottle from a drawer and shook the vile green liquid it contained. "See, this is what they fear. They think it's a magical liquid that can turn anyone into a werewolf. Actually, it's merely a mixture of Eleoselinum, Aconitum, Frondes populi, Sium, Pentathlon, Uspertilioris sanguis, and Solanum somniferum." The visitor murmured. "That means it's composed of hemlock, aconite, poplar leaves, cowbane, cinquefoil, bat's blood, and deadly nightshade. But how do the superstitious villagers think it's supposed to work?" Jacques Turenne laughed this time, revealing incised teeth that were strangely elongated and pointed, almost like a wolf's. Dipping his hand into the bottle, he said, "They believe that if anyone smears his hands with it like this, and then rubs the concoction across his face like this, then one is transformed into a werewolf with an insatiable desire to kill." Well, obviously it doesn't work, you're still Jacques Turenne, but it is an interesting belief. I think I'll just jot the details down in my notebook in case I want to mention it in my thesis. Bending low over his notebook, the student of occultology didn't notice the sudden change that overtook Turenne, and he didn't even bother to look up as the old man started to speak. "Oh, I neglected to tell you something else," the werewolf said. "It takes a few moments for the mixture to take effect, and now..." The visitor turned at the hideous animal snarl behind him. For one horrified moment he stared at the awful half-man, half-wolf shape before him, and by the time he turned to flee, it was already too late, for the fangs were at his throat.